Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's worthy to be praised for everything. Hallelujah to his glorious and holy name. Habathah Banawa Yahweh. That's a love you, Most High. Our Father, Most High. So I'm going to continue to go over these laws. We got 613 laws: moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. So, as always, we're going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So we stopped at number 41. And it said not to go up by steps to the altar. And that's in Exodus 20th chapter, verse 26. And it says, neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So this clearly lets us know that as we walked up these steps, we had to be covered, you know. So we had, like in our britches, we had, like what we now have now is underwear. We had like a side of something on the side that we can put our scrotum in so that we cannot be discovered when we walked up the steps to the altar. So that lets you know that the Most High do not want to see our nakedness. So you're not supposed to be praying naked. You got to be covered up. Hear what it said? Neither shall I go up by steps unto mine altar. So we could go up the steps with the altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. You see? So Most High don't want to see our nakedness. So you can't pray naked. I'm going to say it again. You can't pray being naked. You got to have clothes around yourself. Cover up your private parts. Some people pray butt naked in the shower and all. No, you can't do that. If you have been doing it, stop doing it. Don't do it. Hear what he said? Neither shall I go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Okay? We clear on that, right? All right. Let's move on. 42. To abide by the laws of the Hebrew servant. 21. And we're going to read Exodus 21:1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. Verse 2 is what I just said. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, if you buy a Hebrew servant, that's one of our brothers or sisters, 6 years he shall serve. So we're going to serve. If you buy a Hebrew, servant, someone that's going to work for you, 6 years shall he serve. And in the 7th year, which is the 7th year, he shall go out free for nothing. So he serve you 6 years, and he go out free for nothing. That's the laws of a Hebrew servant. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he serve you 6 years. In the 7th year, he can go out free with no pay. He ain't got to pay you nothing. To designate the Hebrew maidservant for betrothal. We're going to look at Exodus 20:7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. So if a man sell his daughter for a maidservant, to work for someone to be a maid, she should not go out as the men servants do. It says, if she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed, meaning become someone else's woman. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power. You can't sell her to the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, the Ammonites, the Hamites, the Moabites, Elamites, none of these other nations. To sell her unto a strange nation to he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. You see? And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. You got to deal with her according to the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, how we dealt with our daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Meaning, if you have a wife and you get another wife, you can't diminish the first wife's food, raiment, clothes, or duty of marriage. You can't diminish that because you have another wife. And if he do not do these things, these three things unto her, then shall she go out free without money. This maidservant. Okay, let's go up some. I want to deal with something on it. Let's go to Exodus 21:3. You know, once they serve 6 years and the 7th year they can go free, there's a condition in verse 3. If he came in by himself, if this manservant came in by himself, alone, and not married, not having any children, he should go out by himself. On the 7th year when he go free for nothing, he can go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife should go out with him. He came in married, then his wife can go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, while he's a servant with his master, and the master has given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, and since the master gave him this wife, and she have had his children, sons and daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters. Hear that? The wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. Is that something? If the master give him a wife, and he have children by this wife, then the wife and the children belong to the master. When his 7 years is up, it's on the 7th year, he can go out free. But not the wife and the son and the daughters, sons and the daughters. Verse 5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. That's on that 7th year, remember? He said, hey, I love my master and my wife and my children. I don't want to go out free. Then his master shall bring him into the judges, unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, to this door, or unto the doorpost, come to the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through within all, and he shall serve him forever. So, I mean, you're gonna put an earring in his ear. Bam. You see? That's that law. To redeem a Hebrew maid servant, verse 8, if she please not her master, let me see, verse 7, and if a man sell his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. You see, there's a difference between the men servants and the female servants. If she please not her master, who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters, as we would as an Israelite daughter that we have. Okay? And if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Meaning he's not going to deprive her of her living to, help his next wife that he has. Right? And if he do not these three things unto her, then shall she go out free without money. This that maid servant. Right? Let's see. Not to withhold, 46, not to withhold the rights due to one's wife. And that's what we just read in 21:9. And if he have betrothed her unto a son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. So even though she's a maidservant, if he betrothed her to his son, he got to deal with her as a Hebrew daughter. Say to put to death by strangulation a man who commits an act for which strangulation is the prescribed penalty. 21:12. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. It says, and if a man lie not in wait, but the Most High deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. It's a place of security, a refuge, it says, I might say. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor, you done plotted to do something evil to him, to slay him, to kill him, with guile, thou shalt take him from mine altar that he may die. Kill him, he said. You done plotted this. You done plotted to kill him. Not to strike one's father or mother, and he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. You lay hands on your father or your mother, you're going to be surely put to death. Verse 16. And he that stealeth a man, thou shalt not steal. He that stealeth a man and selleth him, like we were stole from off our land here, our land in Africa, our land in Europe, and brought here to be slaves. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, and we were sold on auction blocks, or if he be found in his hand, excuse me, we still here. The same people that was slaves to the so-called white man, the Edomites, are still here. That would say he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, we still here, he shall surely be put to death. That's the law of the Most High. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Think about that, how children are today. The wicked ones, I'm saying, you know. He that curses his father or his mother, cursing at your father or mother, shall surely be put to death. I'm just going to read these laws, and I'm just going to read it all. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, you kill your brother, or with his fist, beat him to death, and he die, not, but keepeth his bed, you know, He might be, wounded. If he rise again, he rise up from being wounded in his bed and walk abroad upon his staff, he might have a cane like we have now, then shall he that smote him be acquitted. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, the time that he lost in work, or what it is that the judge will determine that is feasible for the loss that he lost in being smitten and wounded in his bed, where he couldn't get up and do his normal duties of working or whatever it was that he was doing. It shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. See? Number 20, and if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Hear that? If a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, avenging himself on him, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. So you look at a lot of these things we went through in slavery, Men were killed. They show movies like this, Women were, beat to death with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Is that why my sacrificial said in Revelations 19 and 15? Think about it. It tell you, he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. There's no respect to persons. Why he said in let me get it, Revelation 19 and 15. When he come back to judge and make war, he said, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. You see, payback is something else. He gonna rule them with a rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Most High. Understand this. So, this is what we're looking at. Let's look at verse 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. So if he hit the manservant or the maidservant with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. That's why the things that they done, you gotta pay for. We gotta pay for the things that we done and not following the Most High's rules and regulations, His laws, such commandments. So everybody gotta pay for whatever we do. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Hear that? He is his money. He is his money. So if he don't, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Using them to accumulate his money. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, a woman that's pregnant, so that her fruit depart from her, her baby die, what they call today a miscarriage, she have a miscarriage, a woman's pregnant, and a man hurt her when she's with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. Now this is another man that's hurting a pregnant woman, and her husband gonna determine how he feel that this man need to be punished. And he shall pay as the judges determine. If they determine This is what you got to deal with. Look at verse 30. If there be laid on him a sum of money, that he shall give for the ransom of his life, whatsoever is laid upon him. So, you know, it's amazing how people think money just came into power since the Greeks came into power or something. Here go money right here. Where we at in the wilderness? You hear what it says? If there be laid on him a sum of money, it's right there, y'all. Nothing new under the sun. Then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. See that? That's real. I love this. If a man, verse 22, if a man strive and hurt a woman with child, she's pregnant with child, so that her fruit depart from her, she lose her baby, she have a miscarriage, and yet no mischief follow. He ain't rape her or do anything tragically to her. He shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. You see, that woman pregnant by her husband. And so some other man gonna make her have a miscarriage, and he shall pay as the judges determine. Another one, go to Deuteronomy 22. You know, I want to say, you know, the Most High speak once. Let me read it. Job 33 and 14. Job 33 and 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. You see? So, a lot of times, like, even in the wilderness, he told us then, he gonna tell us again, in its own way. Deuteronomy 22 and 18, it says, and the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. I mean, they check him. This for a particular, you know, act of misconduct against a woman, and they shall immense him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, that she shall be his wife. He shall not put her away all his days. Just dealing with when the laws of him bring up accusations, you know, against his woman, his wife, evil, you know, saying she messed around, she did this, she did something. I'm just here to show you that there is judgment, you know, that happens, you know. And he trying, here is acting like she wasn't a maid, you know, because when you got married, most of the women were virgins, and they would have what they call a cloth that they would lay on, and then when they hymen was, the blood would be on the hymen, and they would bring on the cloth, excuse me, and then they would bring it to the father. And if the man bring accusation against this woman, since he humbled her, then the father would go to the elders, and they would determine whether or not, you know, the man was right or wrong. But I'll just show you that there is a judgment that, you know, a lot of times you have to pay out money behind your wickedness that you do. And the judge will determine how much that was, 100 shekels, you see. So, going back to Exodus 22 21 and 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. And he shall pay as the judges determine. So that's why I went there, to show you that the judges, they lay out that amount of money you got to put out. And the husband going to determine, then you bring them before the judges, and they're going to determine, say, and if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life. I mean, he called himself going to take her and hurt her, and then she done lost her baby. He said, hey, give life for life. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Hand for hand, foot for foot. Burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Okay? Exodus 21 and 26. If a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, you put out their eye, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. If he do something and one of his eyes or one of her eyes be put out, said she gonna go free. He gonna go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. Shoot, man, I'm looking at this, man. They say George Washington had our tooth in his mouth. Put our tooth in his mouth. And I seen whether if they didn't eat, they would take a chisel and a hammer and would just chisel out the front teeth, bottom teeth, and just put the funnel in the mouth, put the food in it. That's why I say, if I these laws, he didn't follow no laws, man. He broke all the laws, man. Rules and regulations. 28. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die. This ox kill a man or a woman, and they die. Then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten. Hear that? If this wild ox kill a man or a woman, you say kill him, stone him to death, but that flesh shall not be eaten. But the owner of the ox shall be quit. Right? But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, say, hey, the owner quit it. The ox just did it on his own, right? But if the ox been known to push with his horn in time past, this ox been, trying to push his horn, trying to kill somebody before this happened in the past, and it have been testified to his owner, and the owner been told, hey man, that ox, man, you need to watch that ox. You're gonna end up killing somebody. He's trying to push with his horn. And he have not kept him away from people, but that he have killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned. Say, kill the ox, and his owner also shall be put to death. Whoa. That'll make you watch them animals from now on, right? Anybody else that have animals, oxes and so forth. Say, kill the ox and kill the man. You've been told, hey man, that ox gonna end up killing somebody. He's butting with his head. You don't listen. Kill somebody, say put him to death, and the ox. Both of them put to death. Verse 30. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom for his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Say, if a certain amount of money is, there go money again, y'all. Y'all talking about we ain't had nothing but vegetables and fruit to deal in We in the wilderness. We got money. Huh? Most High laying the laws on us. This is where it's going to be when we go into our land. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. You know, they might have mercy on him and say, hey, the judge is going to determine, hey, you got to pay this amount of money since you did that. Like it is, you know, when people get sued for certain things that happen in life, there's a certain amount of money that be given, right? Even to this day. Like you have accidents or somebody end up dead from whatever it is that has happened. Look at this. Look at Numbers 35 and 30. Let's start at 29. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. The murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. More than one person. Listen to what it say. But one witness, just one witness, shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. You got one witness, he said, hey, that's all you got? Nope. One witness can't testify of someone to die. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall be surely put to death. Ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. See, a lot of times, that's what I was saying, reading about earlier. You know, we had what we call a city of refuge, where we can run. You do something, and you can run to this city of refuge. You could not come out of that city, or you did something to a family member, they're gonna get you. Well, he's out. He's over there. Somebody say he's over there. You can get him. That's why they had to stay in that city of refuge. Couldn't come out of it. Definitely couldn't come back. Like they say, no, don't come back to this city no more, ever again. And Shalom, welcome everyone entering into the conference. Welcome. We going over the laws tonight. Okay, we in Exodus 21:32. If an ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, these are the ones that's working, a maidservant or a manservant. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto his master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. You hear that? If your ox push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto his master, 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Kill the ox, because he's going to kill somebody eventually. That's what we're looking at. But if he bore, put it, because he could have hurt him. Big old ox. He could have hurt somebody. So if he hurt the manservant or the maidservant, the man or the woman that's a servant, within, with us, if it's one of us, we serve in 6 years, and the 7th year you go free. Within those 6 years, you get, go with one of these ox or somebody else's, then they got to give the master 30 shekels of silver and kill the ox. Okay? Verse 33. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, you done dig a big hole for a pit, or a ditch for a pit, and you don't cover it up, and an ox or an ass fall therein. It's big enough for an ox or the ass to fall in. The owner of the pit, just a moment. You're coming in. You gotta mute your call or your I think you're in. Let me mute everybody. That way it's no problem. Okay, everybody's muted now. Let's see if we could. Okay, once again, we're in Exodus 21 and 33. It said, and if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein. So you done dig the pit and you don't cover it up, you know, and an ox or ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money. You that and give money. Now, no fruits and vegetables or no meat or whatever, and give money unto the owner of them. If your ox or your ass fall into this pit that this man done dug, then you gotta give money unto the owner of them. And the dead beast shall be his. You can have the beast, but you gotta give money to the owner of those beasts if they fall in the pit that you dug. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, one man's ox is fighting against another man's ox, that he die. They fighting so hard that one die. Then they shall sell the live ox, the one that win the battle, as they're fighting, gonna be sold, and divide the money of it, divide the money between the both of them. And the dead ox also they shall divide. The dead ox, the ox that killed the other ox, they gonna cut that ox in half, and half the meat gonna go to one of them that had one ox, and half the meat gonna go to the other that had the ox that died or got killed. Or if it be known that the ox have used to push in time past, this ox has been aggressive in time past, and its owner have not kept him in, you see it's coming back again. You know this ox is dangerous, is vicious, and you ain't kept him in, away from everyone and even other ox. He shall surely pay ox for ox. You gotta give him an ox. And the dead shall be his own. You see, he could take the dead ox, but he got to give up ox. Ox for ox. Since his ox killed the man's ox, you got to give up an ox. You can have that dead ox for meat, but you got to give up that dead ox. And you got to pay ox for ox. Exodus 22. And a lot of these are the numbers, he's numbering up, you know, what it is that There's 613 laws, and we go through each one, you see. I just decided I'm just going to go through them as chapter to chapter. Exodus 22:1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a man shall steal an ox, you steal it 1 ox or 1 sheep and kill it and sell it. You kill this ox or this sheep and you sell it for the meat thereof. You got to restore. You found out, so you got to restore for 1 ox, 5 oxen for an ox, or 4 sheep for a sheep. So if you sell 2 ox, you got to give up 10. You steal 2 sheep, you got to give up 8 sheep. You see, that's how that works. Verse 2, if a thief be found breaking up or be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. You see, if this, look at Numbers 35 and 27. And the revenger of blood, let me go up so you see what it's talking about here. 'Cause we still dealing with the laws. This whole I don't know if I want to deal with that one because I'd have to read a lot of this. But let's read it because it's still this we had came here before. I guess we got to go over because it's dealing with like when you do something. We had a city of refuge that we could run to and be in there. So let's look at that. Okay, let's read about the city of refuge. Okay, this is Numbers. This is city of refuge. Numbers 35. We're gonna start at verse 9. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come over Jordan into the land of Canaan, which is the land of Israel, then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares, like it's an accident. Not killing somebody, blatantly, planning to kill them, and you're gonna kill them. This talking about somebody kill someone, and it's an accident. Then ye shall appoint